This is sad. I shouldn't have found that box. I really shouldn't have. I talked about this. I took a picture and put it on my Facebook that we cleaned up. There's a storage area under our stairs that we would put stuff for long-term storage, like, you know, suitcases, luggage, tents, because now we have a trailer. So it just kind of, everything got thrown underneath the stairs that we knew we weren't going to touch for a very long time. But I forgot right at the very, very back, because I thought I sorted basically everything in my entire collection. But then I stumbled across this big, huge box that I've had since, well, working at Laidlaw. How long ago was that? And I had completely forgotten about it, which is just sad, because I'm going through it and I'm going, this is a complete disaster, and I do apologize for that. But if you look back to my YouTube channel, you can find 2 or 3 things that I thought were utterly fantastic builds at the time, and they didn't make it to the new era of my classic space layout because too big, too whatever. But they showed up at BrickFed a few times way back in the day, and most of this is my crater base that's in the box there, as well as over here. And this is, again, this is what you discovered. And of course, when I take all this apart now, I'm not going to be wanting for 6x grade base plates, or just plates, 6x plates. But this is just sad, because I forgot that of course I use Rob Hendricks life plates, even way back here. And this is one of my favorite builds. This is my light, of course it's upside down, that I had in the base, and I might link a video to that. I didn't get too many good videos of this base, this crater base, but of course I used the burps all around it, and this was the main inside, and I had this little platform that would push the 918 up, and this is what the big doors here were for, that would open and close. And then there's the rack and pinion that I was using to open the doors. And of course I used a lot of filler brick to make the thing, and of course a lot of Technic. And then of course this right here would be the sliding mechanism that the doors rested on as they came and opened up at the top. It reminded me of James Bond. I can't remember which one, when they were inside the volcano and the volcano bottom opened up with the 2 doors and the helicopter flying. So that's what I was going for, and it worked. Honestly worked. And the base was cool, and my little robot, which is completely dishearteningly smashed to pieces. It's thrown into a box. And more life plates, shocking. So, but I also just hauled out something else that I thought this was sad enough, because this was sad enough, especially the robot and the life plates, and the fact that I have to sort of list in the collection now. But I just stumbled across this guy, and this guy, I don't know if I'm gonna, no, the wires are all screwed up anyway. This guy, if you go back to my YouTube feed, was one of my coolest things that I had ever done, combining Mindstorms and classic space. This was, I don't know if it's gonna work. Let's connect this robot. This thing would lift. If I can find them. Do I have them? I do have them. Good. Again, one of my favorite sets. This guy here. So this guy, I had a monorail that was carrying these little shuttles around on the monorail, and then it would go past this thing, and what it would do, because again, you saw my old videos, this thing would be pulled around on the magnet, so this thing would be driving around on that little magnetic loop, and then it would stop, and it was awesome. And then this thing would pick it up and transfer over to the monorail train. And this is the best thing ever. Now, it wasn't show worthy. I mean, this is going way back. If you go back way back in my YouTube channel, I don't know if I'll find a link for it, how this thing worked. I don't think I ever got it working 100% at a show, because what invariably would happen is, what happens all the time is what we call the plastic dust is normal, is that the thing would not have, because I tried to make it for a show that I wouldn't have to use sensors. And what happens then is that you have to rely on slip gears, which I can feel right now. And what happens is the dust builds up on the gears and the gear trains after running through the entire show, and it would just get stuck because it was the plastic dust would just cause things to get stuck. And this is what I learned at shows, that something that works in your house continuously every single night, and you pack it up and take it to a show, and it works when you first set it up, doesn't work 2 hours into a show. You just take it apart and you don't show it again. Or you try to make it better. Also, this is the other reason why I'm going through with the monorails and pressing buttons for the audience to press buttons to do things, is so things don't have to run all the time. Things will only run when somebody presses a button. So you save your motors, you save your gears, you save your plastic dust. So I was looking at this big, huge mess of stuff. And I also, one thing in here is my gantry. I'm trying to my gantry. And this is the gantry that would go back and forth across the broken 918. And that's part of it. Again, this is how I used to build things up. Part of it, I'm sure. So this is the edge of my craters. I used to brick build craters way back in the day. Oh man, all this stuff I'm trying to remember. And this was the okay. So this is part of it. So this is a third-party reed switch for the RCX, and this is a magnet sensor. And this would sense where the vehicle was driving, and it would tell me where it was, so I would stop at the correct spot. So that is interesting. I still have that there. And this here was a wheel that would keep tension on the chain link that was going around underneath the base plate. Oh look, shocking. So yeah, that was in here too. We have a, oh, this is just sad. It's just pure sad. What's this thing? So this is another part of the crater base. I had a nice little lower spot and a nice yellow and brick built. Like my friends do a better job with putting bricks on their sides or plates on their sides to make fine lines. Look at all this old white. There it is. So this is the get up that I would, let me just get this thing off here. This is the get up I would use to put the chain link around, to go around the landing pads and then go back over to the other landing pads. So there was a chain link that would drive all the way around this, and the motor is obviously falling off here. And of course, all the RCX wire, which is now bad, but it wasn't bad when I threw it in here. This is a roadway to go up to the little crater plate from the base plates, the road base plates, and I made the way yellow lines match up to the actual 32 by 32 base plates. Fork. So there's that. This is the part of the crater, and that would be there. Look at that. It's like, wow. This is over decades ago. Landing pad. And you can see on this landing pad, if I hit the light right, you can see where the magnet would go around pulling the vehicle around. That's what it did. And so if you got the, where did I put it? This thing here. If I can get this thing out of this mess. This would be right here in the middle, right? And it would just pull the chain around, and the chain would have, one of them would have the magnet on it. So that's what pulled the vehicle around. So yeah, that's what I did to my landing pads. Sue me, I don't care. Some people call it trashing. I just call it, and there's the chain link that I would use. So, yeah, I use the actual treads because they held together better than the actual just the links. That's familiar. So I did have an Alpha 1 rocket base somewhere in here. Anyway, let's dig down. More one of my beautiful consoles that I'd always have fun building for everything. Oh look, 1x4 blue bricks with the black stripes on them. So I was missing a lot of those, so I'm sure I'm going to find out a lot of them when I clean this up. So keep on going down. Another landing pad from the crater base plate, and of course it's going to have the same kind of tracks in it, because of course it went from landing pad to landing pad. That was the bottom of the lift for the 918, and I think we're getting close to that right now. I think that's this right here. I can grab it. And it just fell apart. So this is the lift that lifted up the 918. And you can see the huge gear train in there. This is all smashed to pieces now. There's another part of the lift. It was part of here over here. Sorry, it's a mess. And this is the pad itself. So I had this thing right here like that. And it would, and of course the doors on top would open, because that was the whole point of the James Bond. The doors would open on top of the crater. This thing, and lift the 918 up, and then take the 918 down. And when I got down, this is the cool Dave part. This thing, this guy right here, would fit. How did I do it? Right here into this spot right here. Let me just get this thing down here. It's not built right now. This thing would fit right into there. And this thing would have a scanner or a welder or whatever on the end of it and move back and forth and scan the 918 or fix up the 918. That was the whole purpose of this space, was to fix up the 918. And then I had a 8x8 grill plate here, so you can see the gears moving back and forth. Always cool. Motors built in there, always cool. So it's like, this is just, I'm just weeping. There was a reason why I stopped this, because it wasn't working well. Let me just pile that over there. What else have we got in here? Not much else besides a lot of brick. Let's go over here. This is the pillars that held the crater apart to the top and the bottom. Oh, here it is. This is when I, oh look, I put life lights in a 926. That's what I do. So there's, oh look, I got more life lights that I just completely forgot about. So this thing would light up. Look at that. Another minifig. Anyway, you should go through your boxes. Smash, bash, crash. Dig all the way down to the bottom. See if there's anything else exciting inside. Oh, it's this guy. Like, seriously. I'm gonna cry. It's gonna cry. Oh, here we go. That's exactly it. Yep. Not well. This was the gantry. This is the gantry. Brought the repair. More base plates for the top. This is from the crater. Wow, just stuff that I have to go through now and clean up. But in the end, I was cool once. I really was. I really was cool once. that coolness has gone away. So, I do miss this when I had, I won't say unlimited resources, but unlimited space to have a space layout. My issue is it just took too long to set up. Because the three things in here, the shuttle mover, and the big crater that lifted the 918, and the mini crater that the little scooter went around, or the little vehicle went around, were cool, and it looks great in those old videos, but they take up a lot of space, and you need to pack them, and you need to move them, and I have a family, and I have to fill up the van with, stuff, and I want the setup to be under 2 hours. And so all this stuff got thrown into here decade ago. completely forgot about until today, when I honestly thought I had all these pieces sorted out into my collection, and I am sad a little bit that I completely forgot about this. Base plates can come out. It'll be easy to clean up. I did enjoy this build, trying to make the kind of sort of cool. I mean, I'm not Chris Giddens cool when it comes to building, but I hold my own, which I'm happy about. I'm worthy enough to have my own layouts and stuff. So, but so this is how I hid the old pirate, one of my old plates in the air. I just got one of these, a new one of these yesterday. So So this is the other side. It's already in pieces. Nothing but parts and pieces to the bottom now. I honestly forgot what this was for. I honestly can't remember. Oh, this is the monorail. So this is where I would lay the monorail track. This is the entrance to the big crater. And this would go into the crater, the burps, like that. So you can have the curve of the burps going around the crater. Anyway, it looks like I got my work cut out for me to take all this apart. The truly sad part. There's two. How many of these did I have? The truly sad part is I am not going to bother putting this stuff back. Obviously, I'm not going to put this stuff back together. It's not even worth it. But it is coming all apart. Oh, and I mentioned how I cut base plates. So there's a 32 by 48 base plate because it just made my life easier to make the crater instead of having 32 by 32 and a 32 by 16. So again, I don't mind cutting up base plates, and I'm sorry if that bothers some people. Your bother doesn't make my life easier or better. So be bothered somewhere else. I do love making, I'm not good at greebling, but I do like making big, huge display consoles. That was great for the crater. I could do that. What's that? What's another tensioner for the spinning around? About it. I don't think there's anything else in here worth talking about. So in the end, what I am going to do is I'm going to, out of all this, I may rebuild the lift because the lift was cool. The lift was really cool because the lift had the little robot, which I threw up here somewhere. There it is. I was thinking about, and this is the odd part. Honest to goodness, I was thinking the other day before I found this box that I wanted to rebuild this arm robot here, and that should be actually really quick for me to do because I built it so you could actually pop it out of the thing and work on it. But I wanted to rebuild him for the current layout outside the tower, so it would like do something. People press a button and this thing does something. So I was thinking about doing that. So but I had to, it took me a long time to figure out how to build it in the first place.
Can you maybe stop the video quickly?
Okay, just gonna wrap this up really, really quickly, and we might do a part 2. So I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.